Welcome to Absolute Comics with Benny and Sal and a guest today, Dinesh, whom I'm going to be introducing in a second. My name is Benny, that is Sal. We talk about your latest comic book movies, comic book news, comic book TV show, comic book video game stuff every Tuesday at about 5 p.m. Eastern right here at the Comic Story and Podcast Network. Today's episode is brought to you by our sponsor, G Fuel. Use the code comics at checkout and get yourself 10% off your order of G Fuel and get the insane amount of energy that I bring to the show every single day. This is not real, guys. I am fueled by G Fuel. It is in my veins.
What was that promo? What was that promo again?
Comics. Code comics at checkout, Dinesh.
Comics. Got it.
Yes, right. Yes. So today we brought in Dinesh to talk about Diamond Hands and meme stocks. He wants to go to the moon.
I'm huddling.
You're huddling. No, seriously, guys, though, this is Dinesh, the former CEO of Valiant and the current CEO of a company known as Bad Idea Comics. He's the co-CEO. Don't let me get that. I got to correct that.
Get that right.
Yes. Which has a very unique idea for how to get the comics in your hands and how to drive hype and excitement for the stories that are being told by their company. I will admit, when he pitched this to me like 5 years ago, he's like, Benny, I got an idea. It's going to be crazy. And it's going to be a bad idea. And I'm just like, I don't see it. That sounds terrible. I think this will be the worst idea you've ever had in your life. I think you're going to lose every dime you've ever had. And I think no one will read your comics. And Twitter has proven me wrong. So why don't you tell us what your company is and what they do and what is the actual pitch so that everyone else can laugh at me for being so wrong.
What a setup. Well, how do I lead from that? No, bad idea is legitimately a bad idea. You did 100% have that reaction, and as did everyone else. Here's a bad idea in a nutshell. It's a new comic publishing company. It's just like all the other publishing companies, except for we only do $2 a month. We don't distribute through Diamond, which means that we only distribute to select stores, about 154 stores globally right now. There's about 15,000 in the world. We do no variants, no digital, no trades. And every story has a backup, an 8-page backup. It's essentially our plan. Essentially, this: we love comics and we love working with the people that we've been working with before. And so we thought, why not get together and set a bunch of money on fire, and in the ashes there will be comics. We'll see how long we can go for. And the joke is actually on us. We planned to not sell that well, and here we are with everyone yelling at us that they can't get our books because everyone wants them. Yeah. It's a champagne problem, but not one that we want.
It's like the producers. You just you made something built to fail, and it became a hit.
It is a hit.
Go in our pockets. We've somehow missed that step.
It goes into someone's pocket. Someone's getting pocketed.
Someone's getting money.
Yeah.
I mean, the idea itself is pretty crazy. It is funny because when you first told me this idea, I think over some beers at a Comic-Con, because you and I always got really heavy on the drinks, and we always started just BSing each other about the stupidest things in the world at Comic-Cons. And when you first told me this, I was 100% against it. But now with the way comics are going so digital heavy, so not variants, I have for the last couple of years been stating comics are going to become a collectible market. They're going to become like the more like right now it's a collectible market, but I'm saying like actually like vinyls are. Like you can't just go to Walmart and buy vinyls. Yeah. You can go buy DC Comics right now, but with things like this Fortnite book and with things that are coming out into the world of comics now, they're all just going digital. And I feel like WB and Disney are both just waiting for the moment that digital eclipses physical, and they're like, screw it, we're out. Yeah. Like we're just digitally doing everything at this point.
You're right, and that's really I think a reaction because everyone that's working in Bad Idea loves comic books. And what we want to do is make comic books for people that love comic books in comic book stores, physical comic books, and in many ways, in kind of an asshole way. Can I swear? Am I allowed to swear?
That's fine. We don't have to edit this.
We're being assholes because what we're doing is just saying we're going to make comic books, but we want you to read them in the way we want you to read them. That whole thing of the customer's right and we're going to be ubiquitous everywhere you want us. Forget it. Not if you don't want that. If you want that, this is not for you. You're going to read them in the stores we pick, when we say, how we say. They're going to be worth it, all that extra effort. But yeah, I think it's a reaction to the way that the industry has moved. We want people to go back to kind of a simpler, but also more honest form of storytelling.
It makes sense that I actually like that because I am a kind of guy that will, like, if you tell me that there's a limited drop on something, I will drive that 2 hours to go pick it up. I'm not even joking. We ended up launching an eBay store to handle all of my weird finds, because for the longest time, part of the fun that me and a couple of my friends have is they'll be like, a new rare amiibo is dropping at Targets and only the one in Colorado Springs has it. And we'll be like, all right, let's get it.
Pile in the car.
I'm the same way. Treasure. Hunting for treasure.
It's the modern day treasure hunt. That's a great way to put it. And you've done that with Bad Idea because it's so limited. I just see tweets on Bad Idea lined up around the store to pick these books up.
Yeah, and that's not something that we did on purpose. We didn't actually think anyone would care. I thought you guys would care. I thought maybe 25 to 50 stores would care. Immediately, we had hundreds of stores apply. When we put the books out, the first book came out was Hero Trade. So the first thing we did is crazy. It's something called the Hero Trade. We were going to launch in March of last year. We couldn't because of COVID. We had a little bit of a window. We were going to launch in April, sorry. We had a little bit of a window. We pushed a year. We didn't want to go dormant. We knew the stores were hurting. So we took an 8-page story that's going to be a backup. We printed it on shitty paper, and we sent one per Bad Idea store. We didn't tell them it was from us. We didn't tell them it was written by Matt Kinn or drawn by David Lapham. We sent a shitty letter, and the letter said, we pretended we were a customer from the store. The letter said, I'm a fan of your store, which is true. This is my first comic, technically true. Please sell it. If you want more, email this email address. And then 3 weeks later, when the order deadline had passed, we told the world through Twitter. And we thought, okay, maybe people will care and it'll be like a $20 book. This thing's like $1,000 to $5,000 if you can find a copy. We had stores turning their phones off. We had a store that chopped the book up so we could laminate every page to have people read it. We had fights. We had about fights in stores. It's crazy.
Wow.
I've been seeing that stuff, and your marketing campaign has been very viral, very like in your face. The button was one of the ones.
The button.
I kept texting you, and you wouldn't answer me, and I'm just like,
what is that?
I'm playing along. Why are you?
Because it took hold. I haven't slept, dude. I haven't slept in like a year.
Right.
This whole thing was meant to be, I finally get some sleep after Valiant. Now I get to publish 2 books a month, and it's not crazy. And it ended up being the opposite. We were prescient because Marvel left Diamond and DC left Diamond, and now everyone is doing the thing that we thought was the worst idea in the world.
Right.
They all are. Yeah. So in any of these questions I ask that you don't want on the full podcast, we'll be cutting out, and Twitch will just see you say no. But how do you feel about that Diamond shakeup? Are you free to talk about it? Because you weren't going to Diamond at all. And over the course of your year decision, no one's going to Diamond.
It's crazy. No, I had dinner with the heads of Diamond when we first came up with this idea. We said to them, this is what we want to do. We think it's good for you because essentially we're going to go out there and fail. And it's going to prove why you need Diamond. And they agreed. They were great people. They were always good to us at Valiant. I love Diamond. I think our industry is built on Diamond. I think they do a good job. I think people don't understand exactly what they do, and I think they're very bad at explaining what they do, which is why people get upset with them. Mm-hmm. But they gave us a ton of ideas. They said, if you're going to do this, here's how you do it. And they tweaked our plan. DC leaving Diamond, I think, is it's Warner Brothers thinking they can do comics better. They're going to get their ass handed to them. And then Marvel leaving, I think, is Marvel doing what they always do, which is they can save half a cent a quarter going over here, and they don't care that it's going to have a long-term impact because this quarter is going to look half a cent better. Right. I imagine it won't be a good long-term thing for either company.
Okay. That's funny because I spoke with a business owner a couple of years ago. We were talking about like making deals with DC and Marvel, and he had been in the industry in 1994. And he's like, and when we described the business practices of the big two, he's like, I can't really speak to DC, but the way you're describing Marvel is exactly how they did their businesses in 1994. And it's like, it's just,
and they went bankrupt in 95.
And they went bankrupt in 95. Like, but it's like, it's just that if I can shave off that half a cent, I'm going to do it.
There's nothing to stop. So Publishers Weekly Random House is where they've gone.
Yes.
They have I don't even know if you can call it a slightly better deal. The discount for stores is worse, but they get free shipping.
They get free shipping. So it should even out, right? Like,
yeah, and it's better for the bigger stores and worse for the small stores. So what we're going to do is hurt the smaller stores, which is what we actually need more. Mm-hmm. We're going to help the bigger stores, which doesn't help us. And there's nothing stopping Random House from saying in a year or two, you know that great deal we gave you? Now that we've killed Diamond, we've changed it completely.
Totally.
Whereas Diamond only really do comics. So they have a vested interest in making sure comics is healthy.
Right.
For years, Diamond would bankroll the smaller stores. they would give them these giant terms, 6 months, a year to pay their dues to keep them alive. I don't know how it's going to care.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Zal.
Oh no, that's it. It's an incredibly volatile market because of course, like Diamond is not entirely blameless, particularly given their response during COVID and their ability to pay back debts and their ability to ship out books and how slow the rollout was. But
I think the nail in their coffin was them stating we can pay back some of what we owe.
Yeah, was the milestone. Like, and I don't
they
mean
shouldn't
like
have publicly said it. That should have. Yeah.
That the fact is, like, they have internal meetings all the time. Diamond, the big two, retailers. There are retailer summits.
Yeah.
Just have one of those over Zoom. You didn't need to make an official statement. Like, I don't know.
I feel like that was the beginning of that led down the road we are now with Diamond.
Yeah.
Because I mean, when you are WB and you are Disney and WB's a little more lenient, but they both just want to shave that last penny off.
Yeah.
If you even hear through passing, there's a chance you're not going to get paid back. Of course, you're like, I'm done.
Yeah.
And what I hear, I mean, the rumors are out there, but I've heard it from people that work at Warner's. They're actively trying to take DC to a mostly digital only model.
Yeah. You're totally right.
Comics model, which is frightening.
Yeah.
It isn't at the same time. And that's actually the next thing I want to ask you, because obviously you and Bad Idea are very much advocates for the comic book store, as are me and Sal. We get asked quite a bit, how do we feel the future of the comic book industry is going? Because of the fact that DC is leaning very heavy onto the digital side. Even Marvel's kind of dabbling a little bit more, getting more and more involved in the digital side. And then, of course, you have the entire argument of everyone who doesn't know how businesses work, who are like, they're all killing comic book stores. But you have more information behind this kind of a thing. I've always said, I don't feel that it's my stance on the comic book store death, as everyone likes to put it, is not that comic book stores are being killed by Marvel and DC, but they're being killed by the entertainment industry as a whole. Because the problem with comics in general right now is for $3.99, I can buy a comic, but for $8.99, I can get a snack in a movie theater and bring my wife out and have that. The amount of entertainment at our disposal for that same cost has gone, as it's all evened out, and comics are just, they're not leveling it out. You want me to spend 30 minutes on this, or I could spend $60 in a video game.
You're
and
100% right.
Right.
Yeah. That is what we've tried to look. I don't think it'll work, but that's what we've tried to do at Bad Idea. So if you look at a Bad Idea book, we have the best production values. I'll go from the outside in. We have the best production values, spot gloss, 12-point cardstock coverage, which are better than Marvel's trades, double matte laminate, the whole works. Anyone that picks up a book goes, wow, why can't they do this? Why can't Marvel DC this? You open the book up, got a custom interior front page and an exterior front page. The indicia, we hide little jokes in there. Got a story, which is definitely longer than the regular 20 pages. In fact, I think ENIAC is like 30, 34 pages.
Oh, wow.
That's how you pronounce it. The whole time, ENIAC. I'm like, how do I say this?
Brainiac. We've got a B story, we're calling a B-side, which is an 8-page story. We try and make that new every time so the collectors get a first appearance. We've got a back cover that's always different. So what we're trying to do is say to the reader, and we charge a little bit more. So we say to the reader, for $3.99 or $5.99 or whatever the book is, different for each book, you're going to get more time in terms of entertainment value, because we understand for $15, or depending where you live, for $7, you can go watch a movie for 2 hours. So why buy a comic book for 15 minutes?
Right. That's been my argument since the beginning, because if the argument is I can go spend $60 on a video game and I've got 20 hours of time spent, or $5 of that dollars on a comic book, it's become that's become more of the issue. That's what I've always said. It's not like, I love comics, obviously, and I like the way you're pitching that, because it sounds like you're making these comics for the collector. You're giving me a reason to buy the comic, because that's the other problem I think right now. Everything transitioning to digital, the world is movies, video games, like NFTs. You literally, artwork is going digital.
JPEG, millions of dollars for a JPEG.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is the world we live in. So there has to be a reason to go to the comic store. Like, and I've always said, like, the best that we've traveled the States, you've traveled the States, the most successful comic stores are the ones that see beyond the comic. Like, we have game nights that we bring people in with, like a coffee shop and things like that. That's what they bring them in with. Then you buy comics.
Yeah, and you're saying collector, and collector in the industry is a dirty word, but Sal, Benny, you guys are collectors. Do you read comic books?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've not met, I'm sure there are, but I've not met a collector that doesn't read comic books. And so as an industry, we've segmented them. We've said there's collectors and there's readers. But the truth is, I came into comics through the Death of Superman and through trading cards and through Valiant and through that whole 90s bubble. And I read as many comics as anybody I know. I don't think speculation and collectability necessarily is a force that works against reading and loving comic books. And so what we've tried to do is say, here's something we can do for the reader, and on top of that, here's something we can do for the collector, and oftentimes they're both the same person. And I think the other publishers look at it and they go, we're fighting against theme parks and movies and video games who have better value for money, and all we can do is add more story pages. It's like, no, you can love the comic book in a different way. You can do little tiny little things all over the place to add.
Yeah, well, and what's interesting is I find that like that's been the argument forever. You know, when it was the 70s, comics were dying because video games, and in the 80s, you know, it was cable TV. In 90s, you know, rollerblading. But like
that was the taking it away.
I'm literally just picking, but I'm making a joke. But like the fact is, like every generation, there's a new competitor, and there's a new thing, and then. I mean, you mentioned $8.99. $8.99 is like, you know, the entry level price for Disney Plus. It's like you could spend $8.99 on a trade, or you can spend $8.99 on literally a streaming service and watch everything ever made. You know, and
they're
so
even doing budget prices. Like HBO Max now announced they're going to do a $10 one, but you get ads.
Oh, really?
Lucky everybody.
I heard Disney Plus announced the raise today. But what you don't get is you don't get something physical, right?
No,
right.
You don't.
Something you can love.
I mean, that's an argument we're having in the gaming industry right now, where they're like, we're going to shut down these stores. That if you had a digital, sorry, like that's the end of it. We don't own anything anymore.
Yeah. So I think there's a way for comics to run into the physicality of it, and really, I can tell you what we're doing about it. We're not trying to be something everybody loves. We're trying to be something we're not trying to be something everybody likes, I should say. We're trying to be something that some people love. And I think that comics can be that, because everybody can like comics when you watch a movie from the MCU or play a video game. But some people, like us and probably the viewers, love comics. And I think that the publisher should lean into that.
Yeah. Because it seems as though, by and large, most publishers are, you know, whether they've been there for 20 years or 5 or 2 or 1, everyone's kind of like they're not thinking about the comic book industry and how to bolster it and how to they're trying to compete, they're trying to ape off of, they're trying to appeal to, you know, it's never just like we're making Marvel comics or we're making, you know, Image comics, we're making movie pitches, we're making TV pitches that are in a sellable kind of like foldable format, right? Because that's what a comic book has become for a lot of people nowadays. Is they're just pitches.
Even Marvel.
Honestly,
even us.
Well,
when we even sit down and say we're going to do this comic book because there's no way anyone would ever want to make this a movie or TV show.
Right. Yeah, but we're in a weird place where that doesn't exist anymore. Like they were talking about how, I remember Brian K. Vaughan said something like, I deliberately engineered Saga so that it could never be adapted because no one would ever make that. And it's like, and then they made The Boys, and you're like, I guess they can literally make anything.
I remember the week he said that. I saw him 3 times that week at restaurants in LA, and he was like the head of Sony, the head of MGM, and the head of Universal at the table. And I was like,
right. And you know what they're talking about.
Yeah, they're talking about Saga. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But the industry is far from dead. The comic book stores this year have made more money, the Dirty Secret of comics, more money this year than they've ever made. In fact, I've heard from every store I've asked about March, they've said March was their biggest month in history.
One of my local stores has said that during the pandemic, they have seen like record sales as a result of just more people being more available, more downtime, and the exposure of, you know, superhero comics, yes, but also just in general comics has either reignited older fans' love or former love of comics, and it's caused them to go back to the stores. And I can tell you how many times I've been in a shop and I've heard an older person say, I used to read. And I'm like, really? Like there's a new reader, but an old reader, a lapsed reader. But yeah, so you're saying the Dirty Secret comics is...
And then there's this company, Bad Idea, and it's just bringing people in now.
I mean, you are though.
I will say,
but you're still making a destination. You're making an event. You're making a reason to go to the store. Do you know? You know, I go to my comic store on a weekly basis, every week or so. Like I pop in, grab a bunch of stuff. You know, the last comic I showed up for, like I have to go get this comic.
Which
Fortnite.
One?
The Batman Fortnite crossover, you had to get the physical for the code to play at Fortnite.
Yeah.
And it was the first time in years that I literally went to my buddy and was like, hey, man, we got to go to the comic store because I got to get this comic before he sells out.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. There's no way he didn't.
Right. I was like, I don't know if he pulled it for me or not. I don't want to risk it. Let's get over there. Like,
yeah.
For years, it's been like, I'll just get there when I get there. This is the first time. So you've done the exact same thing, though. I mean, you're not giving away a Fortnite skin. If you could get that, you guys will be millionaires. But
we can figure that out. But we are doing our little version of it where we're saying we're not going to overprint the book. We're not going to be everywhere you want us to be. Right. If you want it, do a little work. And if you don't, that's okay. But you're
making that collectible book with well-known writers, really good art. You're actually putting together a package people want, and then you're putting it into the consumer. You're like, hey, so we made a collectible book that is a great read. You got to find it.
Yeah. It's not just like a Chase variant cover. It's not just like a first appearance of a character that's like going to be forgotten in a couple of years. You're engineering scarcity so that, but also couching it in a decent story, like in an actual, like in a readable, desirable book.
We're trying to have our cake and eat too. We do this thing called, so this is fascinating. First print, second print, third print, fourth print, fifth print, etc. Right? In comics. Turns out there's no legal reason you have to do that.
No
one's stopping you. So when we figured this out, we thought, okay, we're gonna do a first print, and every other printing we'll just call a not first print, and we'll make them identical. So no one can tell the difference. So with ENIAC #1, for instance, the book sold a lot. We did a first print, and then sold a ton after that. Every time we've gone back to press, we've made them identical, and we call them not first printings. So in a way, that's our trade. On the other hand, we're also appealing to collectors because look, film and TV is what moves collectibilities right now.
Yep.
And we'd like to have our ducks in a row. So we built a sizable, there's a giant secret. I think I may have told you guys. I don't know if I've told you guys. There's a giant secret behind Bad Idea. Something that we locked in place.
Is it a good idea?
To be seen. But it's something we're aware that the books are hard to find, and so there'll be a limited number of them. And then when we tell people what we're doing on this side, I think what it'll do is it'll be like nuclear fire. So hopefully we'll be able to reward the people that
we should reveal it here on our podcast.
He's like, no,
thinking about it.
Your co-CEO is like crapping their pants right now. Like, please don't do it, man.
Yeah, I know, right? We got a spot.
If the phone rings in a minute.
Every year we're going to add a co-CEO. Do you guys, anyone interested?
I come with free promotion.
No way.
Funny. I'll tell the story real quick, and you might get a kick out of it. So Valiant, I don't know if you're aware of who they are, but Valiant.
They used to publish comics, right?
They used to do it. But the guy in charge of their PR and everything right now tweeted out that they're looking for marketing, and I texted him. I'm like, he goes, just send me resumes with a cover letter. That was his tweet, and I texted him. My cover letter says, I'm the motherfucking comic historian. Can I have the job?
What do you say? What do you say back?
He called to make sure I wasn't serious.
Oh, that's so sad.
He was like, hey, just to let you know, like, we can actually talk, but it's going to be way below the pay grades you're getting now. I'm telling you, and you're going to have to work 40 hours a week, and I'm going to be your boss. And I'm like, no, I'm playing around, man. It's okay.
You should say running that thing. You should pitch them being the CCO.
Right? They will not take that job.
Real. The two of you should do that. You should go in there and just run it.
Right? And I would run it all right. Right into a brick wall.
And then we'll just hire all of the old crew, bring them back.
Yeah.
We'll supplant it. It'll be great.
Yeah. I should say, by the way, the guy in charge of their PR is a really, he's a great guy. He works his ass off. He's a really great guy.
Is it Greg Katzman, right?
It is Greg Katzman.
Yeah, it's Greg.
Yeah. Good
yeah.
thing.
If I didn't like Greg, I wouldn't have texted him. It's like when I text you things.
They're going to snipe him. One of the other guys is going to snipe him one day. And they're going to be very lucky to get him.
I remember back in the day, back when I would mess with you, Dinesh, all the time. Yeah. And Josh, who is the other individual we would work through with Valiant back in the day, 5-6 years ago, would have a heart attack because I'm messing with his boss and CEO, and I'm just hardcore messing with you all the time. And then you would mess with me, so I always felt like it was okay.
Poor Josh. Poor Josh. Josh is level up, man. Josh is our director of marketing now. The whole crew's back. Adam Freeman's here, head of sales. You guys know Warren Simons. He's the co-CEO and CCO. And then Hunter's here as well. And Bobby, we got this new guy. You guys got to meet Bobby. You guys will meet Bobby, but he probably won't be working for us anymore. Bobby's pretty terrible.
It's a ringing endorsement.
Pretty terrible.
Yeah, everyone in the chat, if you don't know, I mess with everyone.
This
Fans,
is true.
People I'm working with, other companies.
We do mess with everybody.
That's just how I am, though. If I like you, I'll mess with you. If I don't like you, then I'm very straightforward and formal. Like just
yeah.
Oh shit. That's okay. Now I got to watch out for that.
Yeah. If I ever get like straightforward and formal, this is because I'm just trying to end our conversation.
Right. Well, or he knows that you messing with him. Like we've been there where you're like, okay, hang on a second, I gotta stop messing around.
Yeah, that was
like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna go straightforward with you from now on. I'm just gonna play the game.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna.
Yeah, until one of you flinches. And I'll just be like, okay, well.
I feel like if me and Dinesh were playing the up the ante game, somehow we'd both end up like naked and alone.
I don't
want to
see that.
Mexico with like beers in our hands. Like, how did we get here, Dinesh? Like,
I know. I have seen you two in a loud, alcohol-fueled room together. It is not a good idea. Just
what are you talking about, Sal? You are the craziest of the three.
Yes. Well, all right. So yes, did I bomb the image party naked? Did I do a cannonball into a pool table? Yes.
Did you really?
No. That was a great day though. No, I'm just actually I was the only teetotaler at those parties. I'm like, we got to make sure we don't break anything in here. But no, yeah, but I will say I should point out that I was at one of your selected stores. My wife and I took a tour around some comic shops in New Jersey. We hit up a shop called Fortress of Solitude in Newark.
Yeah,
and they get ENIAC. They had a little like kiosk set up on their counter that said there aren't any more.
Amazing, really?
Yeah,
That's
they were
great.
gone.
I mean, I shouldn't say that, but
but it's so I was like, hey, they're one of the stores.
That's exactly the reaction we want. We want the stores to feel like they have something special.
Yes.
We want people to walk in and say, "Oh, this is a bad idea store. It's sold out, or they've got one left. I got to pick it up and try it."
Yeah, I did it. I was like, you don't have any more.
You want the fear of missing out. You want the FOMO effect.
Yeah.
We know
you're putting it into comics. Like, as much as I hate to say it, when it comes to normal comics, everyone's like, issue 106 of Batman is the big reveal of his latest character. Sal's giving so much flack to that run.
Yes.
But I can find an issue 106 if I really wanted to. It's not gonna I don't have
find
to do
it, but you gotta pay.
And
that's the real, like, for me, it's like the frustrating thing for me about modern big two comics and their scarcity is that it's like it's the same as it ever was. It's the same as it was 35 years ago, same as it was 15 years ago. A character dies, a character shows up. In today's world, no one should be like, oh, I missed out on this issue. Like, or there's no way I can get that copy. Like, no, they overprint. They're everywhere. There's hole in the wall shops that like over ordered. There's no way. There's no reason to have to overspend.
And that's the thing we've tried to also geographic scarcity. Do you remember a time when the East Coast would have books and the West Coast wouldn't have books?
Of course.
Yeah.
We're trying to bring that back. As crazy as that sounds, we're trying to bring that back.
You don't want the Subway situation where like two franchises are a block across from each other. And like
that would be amazing. No, we actually have that in a couple places. North Carolina has that. And we see the orders come in and we see one store order a lot and the other store not. And we're like, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah. That's always great.
So
I love the stores. We have a few stores that yell at us, and you should be doing this. Well, fine, leave the program. It's okay. And then I see the numbers get bigger and bigger. And bigger.
Leave the That's what I've always said. Like it's like when we get our fans on our channels that want to give me crap about like I did something they didn't enjoy or I covered a book they didn't want. I'm like, go watch it.
Yeah, just unsub.
Right. But actually, the wonderful thing, one of the benefits of having this program where we have rules that stores have to follow is we've kind of weeded out the stores that they're not bad stores. They're just stores that can't sell our books. They're Marvel stores. And so stores that are here are really well equipped to hand sell and to build the bad idea fan base.
Right.
In a way, it's actually been what was supposed to be a bad idea. It's actually been something we stupidly fell into that works.
Right.
Will you ever rename the company?
Yes, actually, we have a plan to. We're going to be announcing soon that we're going to go away. No joke. No joke. Because what would be a bad idea?
You're gonna Death of Superman yourselves.
Yeah, that's actually what we call it. That's funny. We were thinking, okay, we've got this super hot company. It might be one of the hottest publishing companies in comics, maybe the hottest right now. What's the worst thing we could do? We could just say, we're so hot, we're going to go away. So soon we'll be announcing that we're going to go away. and then we're going to come back. We're going to completely rebrand because why would you do
because
that?
you can. Like, that's really what it feels like. You know, you are playing.
You're determined to fail.
You're playing with fire. You really are.
Like, when you guys were working at Valiant, and you guys ran it the way that nobody runs it, and the way that nobody runs any of those publishers.
Yeah. At
this point, there is no other player but yourselves. So you can kind of just go like, well, wouldn't it be fun if we tried this? Or wouldn't it be, there's no tether to you guys. So you have the freedom to be able to say like, let's do this. You know what? Like, COVID happened. Let's completely redirect. And we don't have to like suffer through 1,000 board meetings in order to do it. We could just,
we tried to build a very small speedboat. And Valiant had a kind of medium-sized tanker. And you're right. We tried to do everything. Everyone said it'd be great if publishers should do this. Fans want this, retailers want this. We tried to do all those things and it worked. But now we check that box. And so can we see if there's another way?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and
challenge yourselves to mess this up. Like, it's the weirdest goal I've ever seen. I want to fail. Stop letting me succeed. I want to. Sal, we should start doing the podcast. We want to do terrible. Stop watching.
I feel like that would be a self-fulfilling prophecy. I feel like because
you went out there and said that, stop watching, people would watch. If you started doing the show at like 3 a.m, I wouldn't be surprised if viewership.
That's fair. Yeah. The reverse psychology approach of don't like, don't retweet, don't reblog, don't smash that like, stay away from the like button.
Keep it small, guys. Don't let your friends know.
Yeah.
Keep us a close-knit community. I'm going to try that now. This is the next video.
It's not a bad idea.
Hey guys, everyone start unsubbing. I want to get my numbers way low. I'm hoping to get under 100,000. Just unsub.
That would,
Go sub to Sal. But let's transfer subs.
Right. Yeah. Until I need you. And then I'll call upon you, and you'll just burst out of my channel like a cicada.
I can't ground. For like 6 weeks from now, you guys have me back on, and I'm like destitute. What happened?
You're asking for money.
We'll see you in the background of Benny's video. You're like, I moved to Colorado. I live in his house now.
Sweeping.
Hey guys, Ganesh is here.
Yeah.
So don't look at me.
Yeah. So it turns out it was a bad idea after all. No.
Well, as I say, at this point of the show, we normally move over to discuss some of the news. A lot of it's kind of light. If you just want to chime in with your thoughts on it, that'd be great. If you don't, give us your final bad idea pitch. You can step away. Do you want to talk news or do you want to step away? What is the bad idea of that?
It's a bad idea. It's a bad idea. You know what? I'm going to step away because I feel like we peaked.
It's fair. It's a good point. That is a good strategy.
That's it. So I'll never hear from you again now.
No. We're gonna do that thing.
The thing with the people in the Martians.
Oh yeah, I know that thing. Yeah.
The texting thing that we were talking about.
Right.
And I'm gonna call Greg Cashman and try to bring him over to bad idea.
You should totally. You should.
Do you think he's happy? Do you think he's happy?
I think he is.
I guess I know for a fact. I can say
if you poach him, do it after my newest pitch gets through. Okay.
When's that gonna be? What do you think? Did he approve pitches?
No, he's
on that. He's on the board of it, I guess, is what he said. So we'll see.
Well, things are changing. But,
you guys really like him? I mean, we need.
He's a great guy. No,
he really is. He's a really.
The thing is, he loves it. Like he's a fan. Like he loves Valiant. He loves working there. He wants to make it as good as possible. And I think that's like the nice thing about like a lot of the things that we're seeing. Not just from him, but like I don't know if you picked up that Shadow Man book, but it actually is pretty.
I did.
Good.
It was good. Yeah.
Right? Isn't it good? It's like, oh my god! Yeah. Like and it's
we just covered it. It's going out on Friday.
It's
going on the channel.
But yeah.
I liked a few things they've done. I liked Incursion.
Yes.
The Pat Nadel book with Doug. That was really good. And the Rye book.
The Rye book with getting Dan Abnett. Genius move. Great. That wouldn't be a bad idea.
We should actually call that. That's a good idea. We only publish 2 books a month. That's
hard. True. So yeah, you got I got 15 pitches. What the hell am I going to do with 2 books? But you still the backup.
If we stopped making new books, we'd be 3 years before we published them all.
Oh my god!
The crazy thing about that.
That's pretty exciting, though. Good for you.
Yeah. I'm just looking for a way to to go to Hawaii. Just looking for a way to go to Hawaii, guys.
Well, what you need to do,
you and I need to have a business meeting over some Mai Tais in Hawaii. Sound good?
Seriously.
I'll see you next week. If you got your second shot, I'll see you next week.
Are there any comic shops in Hawaii?
I'm done too. I'm a superhero now.
You should tell you fully vaccinated?
I am fully vaccinated.
Hold on, let me get the tracker. Yep. Okay.
Oh, you know Bill?
Melinda. I'm a Melinda guy.
Well then enjoy half because it's over.
Right. I think it'll be the bigger half.
Oh yeah. Oh no. Yeah. Like he keeps giving it away for like charitable organizations. What an idiot. Anyway, but no, we're excited to see what's coming from Bad Idea. Even if I don't think Benny, do you have a copy of any Bad Idea books? Because
no, they still haven't.
Because neither did I.
I'm sitting here trying to promote their book. It's amazing. It looks great. I haven't read it.
Yeah, I've seen it like from afar. I've seen it at stores, and I'm like, ooh. But that's
Comic Tom has his books. So now
good.
Tom has
you know what I will say. You know what's a bad idea? You know what's a bad idea? To book yourself on podcasts and not send it to the podcast.
It depends. If the books are terrible, this is a wonderful idea.
That's a great idea. Then no one knows. That's true. There's like a lot of Kickstarter books, but no, we
based on reaction, my assumption is it's good, and I have seen the art, and I do like the art. So
yeah, and I love the idea of like spot UV, like everything you described about like the printing of the books is so exciting because it's just like that's what I want. I just want. It reminds me of like the old prestige books from DC, like back when they gave a damn, and you'd get like these just beautiful like old book that's like a full thing. Yeah,
people seem to like it. Not everyone's able to get the book, which actually I should plug one thing, which is
please.
Tomorrow is Wednesday. We have a new book coming out, but the Wednesday after that, we're doing something a little silly. We're doing something called putting out a book called Hank Howard, Pizza Detective in Caligula Safe, which is a $1 book that anyone can go in and get, but it's only available for 24 hours. And we thought of, since it's May, Free Comic Book Day, everyone puts their best foot forward out for Free Comic Book Day, their most commercial, bombastic book. We thought, why not our least commercial, bombastic book?
Right?
It's a parody, and I'm not sure anyone's going to get it, which I'm very excited for.
I will. Speaking from personal experience, like I thought that was a great idea. Like I loved, like the Adventures of Baron Moonchaz. It's just like titles that have no bearing, that have no commerciality. Like when I kickstarted my first book, it was called. I deliberately called it something that was unmarketable. It's called Garth Kirby and the Cookbook of the Gods.
Amazing,
and it worked like wonders in terms of sales. Let me tell you, in terms of nobody heard of it and nobody bought it. But it's like the Pizza Detective. I'm like, oh my God, that's just Cookbook of the Gods all over again. I'm so excited to see that now, or not if I can't find it.
I can't find it. What is your Colorado store? I will drive there to buy this book.
Colorado. Hold on, I can. We have a whole website. Where is badidea.com?
Oh no! All right, here we go.
United States.
You're getting a lot of extra information out of this now.
I feel like I
got 3 stores. All right, you got Time Warp. You know Time Warp Comics and Games?
I do.
I recognize the name.
I Want More Comics.
Oh wow, you guys have a great bunch of stores in New Jersey.
Yeah, and we do. We've got Thingamajiggets. Do you know Thingamajiggets?
I've never heard of them.
Edith Thingamajiggets. There's our 3 Colorado stores. So
where is badidea.com?
Yeah,
you guys have Fortress of Solitude, great store. Joker's Child, another great store.
I want to know what your Australia stuff is. I want to go there.
We've got all the good stores and Flying Comics.
I think I'm near Time Warp. Where is Time Warp?
It's not far from you. I think it's in.
Chat now. It's just like they're watching us go like shopping, basically.
Right. I think Time Warp is in.
Boulder.
It's in Denver. Oh, Boulder.
Boulder. That's like 30 minutes away.
Yeah. That's not far. They're a great store. Yeah, Boulder.
Yeah.
Boulder. I'm gonna talk to Mike. Sorry.
Colorado has all the best stores, man. I remember growing up seeing Mile High Comics ads in every shop, and I'm like, I'll never get there. And then thanks to Benny, I was able to go. We got to go. We went for Denver Comic-Con, which I think is dead. And
I think it's coming back now.
Oh, good. Yeah. Well, but they had shuttles. Like Mile High has shuttles at that con, just taking you to Mile High Comics. Got to go, and I was like, I'm here. Hey, 9-year-old me, we did it.
9-year-old me, we did it.
We could spend 3 times the price on this.
All right. I found it. It's an hour away. So tomorrow, he said I gotta go. Tomorrow, I gotta go get it.
Tomorrow,
next week.
Walesville X Rocks and Minerals is our new book. It's a $10 book. It's 72 pages. It's Tony Millionaire and Anna Polina. Once again, all the bad ideas.
Yep.
So Miyazaki and Pixar and a $10 book.
Wow, that's a sell.
And then the 12th, the Wednesday afterwards, is Hank Howard, Pizza Detective, in Caligula Safe.
So I gotta go tomorrow and next Wednesday.
Sold. Yes. I should mention it's black and white. Except for the cover. We colored the cover just to upset everyone.
Oh, that's just classic comics.
Right, that's a comic book rule, yeah.
Yeah.
The backup's also in color, just not the main.
What? Oh, but the backup is in color. Oh my God.
You know, it's a terrible idea. I think your rename should be, we went for bad idea.
Worst.
Terrible idea.
Worst idea. Oh, that's the trilogy.
Yes.
Bad idea, terrible idea, worst idea. Amazing.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks,
Dinesh,
guys.
everyone, go to whereisbadidea.com. Find out where you can get your bad idea books. New book dropping tomorrow. Get that 24-hour dollar book next Wednesday. Hopefully you're near a bad idea destination store. And I'm hoping one day they'll send me a book. That'd be cool. You know,
Okay. They should arrive this week.
Oh, sweet.
You guys have said that for 4 weeks, but anyway.
Really will. They will.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much today. Seriously, it was a lot of fun, and we'll be in touch real soon whenever you want to chat more.
Bye, guys.
Bye. All right.
All right. You know what's a great idea, Sal?
What's that? Talking about
moving over to our topics. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay. I'm going to kick off today's news portion of our show. Read the latest issue of Fortnite.
Oh, good.
I don't know if I
Eyes,
like it or dislike it. No, Snake Eyes is next week. So this week is him coming up with a plan to figure out Fortnite. So he's marking all the notes down in his gauntlets and everything. But that was teased in the trailer last week. So the big reveal that Batman is figuring out Fortnite really wasn't a big reveal if you saw the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
But if you didn't see the trailer, it's pretty cool. He's narrowed it down. The reason he keeps resetting is because he's trying to survive with Catwoman. So he let her win and get the victory royale. And now she's gone.
Oh.
So we don't know what that means. And then he found Harley Quinn. So
he's like, you're more marketable.
Well, you want to say that, but they also tore up Catwoman's outfit. So it's like top, midsection open, bottoms all pants. I'm like, oh yeah, you knew what you were doing with that.
Yeah,
design.
we pad made you.
So it's still doing really good. I'm super enjoying it. But let's move on to the next one. What have you read today?
Oh, I don't think I've read anything. I've been all over the place today. I've been so busy with like everything. No, I have not. I have not read anything.
I went through all the DC comics I cared about.
Oh, good.
So Teen Titans Academy has a new speedster.
Yes.
Her name is Bolt, and she has no legs, which is kind of a cool idea because she's literally she has prosthetics she runs on, but she has like meta-human speedster stuff.
Okay.
And they specified in Suicide Squad today, Suicide Squad, that she's a metahuman who wants to be speedster. So like she's not Speed Force level. They were trying to recruit her onto the Suicide Squad. They've also revealed Connor's a little messed up mentally. That's why he's on the squad.
Oh, geez.
Yep.
Let's just wreck him up some more.
But what I realized today, when Red X also showed up in Suicide Squad, they're trying to keep that continuity steady again, like they always do at the beginning of every era of DC. And in about a year, it's going to be all over the place.
Yes.
But right now, they're all trying to work together.
Okay. Well, good luck.
Yeah.
I hope it works out for them. Bold strategy, Cotton. Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. I'm digging that one. I also read the new Batman. They made
nice.
Another new character.
Oh, good. I love new characters, and I love them in the span of a year.
This one is, what is her name? It's on the cover. Dan, do you have it handy? He does not. I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, I have
Miracle Molly.
Oh, I heard about Miracle Molly already. Like they were already getting people ready for Miracle Molly. I've heard like there's already cosplayers in Miracle Molly. Like
Well, her design's pretty cosplayable.
Yes.
It looks like it was made for cosplay.
That wouldn't surprise me at all.
It's literally tights that are leopard printed with green, a jacket, green hair, and face paint. They were like, what would make cosplay super easy?
Right. Like, okay, so you got your punchline cosplay ready to go. Well, how about Miracle Molly 2? How about Ghostmaker?
And they've also already put her on a pedestal, which may or may not go somewhere. I wouldn't say that they Mary sued her yet.
Yeah.
But he showed up as Matches Malone, and she immediately knew it was Batman.
This is one of the reasons why I'm only reading Detective, and I'm really enjoying it, by the way.
Detective's been really good. I'm really digging it.
Great. Yeah.
The new Robin from last week was awesome too.
I also dug the new Robin. I don't like Damian, but I did like that series, or I did like that issue. It's a fun debut.
Yeah.
Robin on Mortal Kombat.
But yeah, Miracle Molly was interesting. The way they did it was he shows up as matches. Immediately she knows someone's in a disguise.
Right.
She's like, oh, take off the fake mustache. And I'm just thinking like, so she's the one that figured out that's a fake mustache. Right. No one has ever figured out Matches Malone.
The top crime bosses in all of Gotham, every villain. I think Matches Malone is like like major supervillains who knew Batman.
Yeah.
Okay.
But she figured it out, but she didn't know it was Batman. And then she figured out it was Batman later because she recognized the voice because he spoke to her at a radio and he didn't react to the sight of being over Gotham.
Okay.
And I'm like, I buy it and we could lean into that, but there
those
better
who will
not
defend
be too
it,
many gimmies. Like this better be the only gimme that we're giving Miracle Molly. Like,
I bet it won't be.
Like she made that conclusion real quick, and I'm going to do the gimme of like we had to do it to progress the story.
Yep.
So, like, and I'm okay with that. But if she starts figuring out everything else about Batman, like, I'm
if she's a Robin by the end of the year,
Miracle Robin,
yeah,
Robin Molly, Molly Robin.
I think just Robin. It's just she'll have like a crazier costume. Yippee.
But yeah, that's what's going on in DC right now.
Yep.
So.
And Marvel doesn't come out until tomorrow. So.
Yep, so we can't talk about that. So let's look at some of this. New news. Tom Taylor is going to be writing the new Superman book, Son of Kal-El, focusing on Jonathan Kent.
This was almost a great thing. This was like something where I'm like, yeah. Oh, it's Tom Taylor doing a friggin' alternate thing. I mean, and it is in continuity because like Superman is leaving, but it's like future state all over again. Like,
well, I like this. I do wish, and this is Bendis is what did this. I wish this was 13-year-old John.
Me too.
I wish it was like John who's young and isn't very confident. Yeah. This is older John who's kind of confident. Like I liked that young Jonathan. I hate to say it because we all whine about it and DC doesn't want to do it, but
I do too. Like that's why he appealed to me was being able to grow up with them.
But at the same time, the problem I have with this book right here and because this is the issue I had with if the aging of Jonathan was wasted and pointless, which as it turns out it was, that's where I have a problem with it because what it boils down to is Superman's leaving and we got Superboy again. We're literally doing the Superboy stories from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. We're just doing Superboy again. You're not creating something new. You're retreading old ground.
You're not even doing that. You're doing Philip Kennedy Johnson's Superman book again, like that Future State book. That was literally the plot of Future State. Like we just did this.
Well, I don't know if you're aware of this, but Future State is still going.
I am aware of that, and I'm ignoring it.
Gotham Future State is coming out.
Oh my god, that's right. Every time I hear that, I'm like, oh.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Over in the Batman 108 that just came out, Peacekeeper 01 has been made.
Oh, thank goodness.
So we're running into that same problem that you and I right now are complaining about, where it's like we're just getting back to Future State.
Yeah.
Like, are we going to hit a point where they're like, now go read the Future State book from a year ago, and then we're going to jump to afterwards?
Nah, I'm good. I just won't. Like that's what I do with these books nowadays. I don't gripe. I don't get frustrated. I just go like, nah, well, nope.
Well, I mean, I do too, but we're doing a podcast where we gripe and nitpick.
This is true. Yeah.
Funny side note for those who don't know, Sal and I run another channel called Absolutely Marvel and DC, where we talk about some of your favorite TV shows, movies, trailers, stuff like that.
Yep.
There was a comment today. I don't need to hear you guys disclaimer about. I think we're all tired of hearing you guys disclaimer about opinions at the beginning. Can we just get into the reviews? And I'm just thinking to myself,
skip ahead.
I was like, one, skip ahead. Two, what's we all? Did the viewers have a meeting?
Yeah. I'm just such an arrogant jackass. I feel like I could speak for the comment section. Thank you for reminding me to stay out of here.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Yeah, give me a break.
So I'm excited that it's Tom Taylor, not excited that it's John. I think is the best way to put this.
That's the thing. Yeah, Tom Taylor. Yay. John? No.
So, okay. So we got the surprise cameo of Valentina Allegra de Fontaine in Falcon and Winter Soldier was originally supposed to happen in Black Widow prior to all of the setbacks.
I'd heard that too.
Head writer of Winter Soldier and Falcon had no idea about this during the creation of the show.
That's right. I had also heard, because like, who cares? But I had also heard that apparently they wanted Spider-Man to show up in the show. And Feige was like, no.
Apparently, Feige also said forever ago, I saw this in a different article, Doctor Strange was going to be in WandaVision.
Yes. And
they vetoed it. They vetoed it because they didn't want to take it away from Wanda.
Yeah. And that they had to rewrite some of the Doctor Strange movie because it was going to hinge on what his appearance was in the WandaVision show.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, we have to change the movie now.
So that's weird and interesting.
Yeah.
I like that.
But I remember like literally I was watching Falcon Winter Soldier. They're in the city. And I think it was like, one of the scenes where like Bucky's doing whatever. And I was like, wouldn't it be so cool to see Spider-Man just swing by? That's all I wanted to see was just Spider-Man swing by. And Tiffany goes, he can't be in everything. And then I hear that the showrunner wanted him in there.
What blows my mind about Spider-Man being in the show, and this is the issue I think we have with the MCU. In the comics, we accept that he's not around, or he can just swing by and they can just draw him in the background.
Yeah.
And in WandaVision, it was easy to accept because it was in that self-contained town.
Yes.
But in Falcon Winter Soldier, they kept going to big cities.
Yeah. Well, and for me, it's like the thing that I want is the kind of stuff where it's like they're in the background. Like I wasn't expecting Tom Holland to be on the set. I just wanted to see them, the CG department, go like, let's just put him, have like Bucky look up, because as you recall, the last time that like Bucky and Spider-Man interacted, Spider-Man like grabbed his arm and punched him in the face. Like him just looking up, going like, every freaking 3 days, I got to see this kid. Like it'd be so fun. That's all you needed. And like, Sebastian doesn't have to freaking look. He's just looking at a green wall. Anyway, it's fine.
Well, speaking of more Falcon Winter Soldier stuff,
yes.
It's also come out that they wanted to change the name of the Winter Soldier, but it was just kind of vetoed from up high. But they do feel that he's moved beyond Winter Soldier. Do you think that they're going to drop? I don't understand dropping the name Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
It's like that's become his superhero name.
It's kind of his. I would be okay. Here's the problem is, what do you call him? And I immediately went to Nomad. That was my first thought. Was like, make him Nomad.
And people were calling him White Wolf because of
White
the
Wolf
name. Yep.
That'd be fine. I'd take that one too.
But it's just not going to be recognizable like Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
I agree.
I mean, it's the big issue with X-23 to Wolverine. Yes, she should be Wolverine. She was Wolverine. We can call her Wolverine.
Right. But so is Logan.
But at the end of the day, to differentiate, we're either going to say female Wolverine or X-23. That's
yeah. That's true. It's true. I was. They didn't also work into the narrative of the show Winter Soldier like being a name he doesn't want. You know what I mean? Like they referenced it, but there's no new identity for him in the show. It's not like it's not like he is a nomad or he is a White Wolf. Like they do reference White Wolf, but they don't make it a thematically relevant thing that like, whereas Sam, he is Captain America. Like when Steve handed you the shield, you were Captain America.
Yeah.
And it took you a whole show to accept it. Like you've always been Captain America. Whereas Bucky, it's like you're Winter Soldier and you're sad, and by the end of the show you're less sad, but you're still the Winter Soldier. I'm sorry.
Well, that's how he is even in comics now. He's still the Winter Soldier. There's a whole comic series where there are other Winter Soldiers.
Yes.
And he's still the Winter Soldier.
Oh, that's because like nobody at Marvel Comics knows what the hell to do with him anymore. And it hasn't since he stopped being Captain America. Like I feel like he's just been in a holding pattern. The last time they gave a good try was Original Sin, where he was the man on the wall, and nobody bought that book. And when I say nobody, I don't mean you in the comments. I know you and the 3 other accounts you use to thumbs up your comment agree with yourself, but like
you know what the funny I get this one guy that's like, I feel personally attacked. Swap account, swap account.
Yep. Well, you are. Congratulations. If you have multiple accounts to upvote your own comments, you are too sensitive. Get over it. But yeah, no, I feel like there is no. The funny thing is, Marvel. I'm sure Marvel Studios is like, thank goodness that like there was a period where Marvel was just like next thing, because like they have a roadmap. Like Chris Evans, like, I don't know if I want to be Captain America anymore. That's cool. We got Sam. Yeah. Robert Downey Jr. is like, I think I'm done. That's okay. We got Riri.
Yeah.
Really? Like there's because I can imagine Downey Jr. is like, I don't know who that is. Like, oh, don't worry. There's a black female Iron Man. You're good.
I know this is the tangent. I know we never really touch on it. I'm going to be the guy that puts Chris Evans on blast finally. Can we just say how annoying that was every year? I don't want to be Captain America.
Listen, I
want to direct Marvel. Like,
go for it.
You're making multi-million dollars walking around in a shield, and we both know that you're not working out just because of the movie. Right. You're that guy. Just accept your Captain America. roll with the punches,
Yeah.
go sit in your multi-million-dollar mansion and enjoy yourself.
I think
my God.
I mean, listen, he seems like a incredibly lovely person that I would love to meet. But yeah, like, shut up. Go make I mean, like, Cap doesn't have to be in everything. So it's like Cap doesn't need to be the linchpin to everything, but he can show up. You know, he can be there.
I mean, he seems super friendly, and I've seen him behind the scenes, and he seems like the nicest guy in the world.
Yeah.
But I would tell the nicest guy in the world to just stop whining about it. Like,
yeah. I mean, like, my assumption is it was always a negotiation tactic, you know, because like the audience will, if you're like a Chris Evans fan, then you have already vehemently defended him against attacks online by saying the following. Chris Evans is a creative person and he really wants to direct because he's had that narrative out there and he's had the continuity of constantly responding and with that kind of comment. But it's also a great negotiation tactic where it's like, it is public knowledge that I would like to direct.
Yeah, no, it is. And
so, but like, so if I walked away from the role, it wouldn't be an upset. It wouldn't be like if,
Robert Downey Jr. never once said he wanted to leave. He just kept getting more money.
And
even to this day, he said he'd come back.
I heard he indicated that he was kind of wrapping up. Like, that's why Iron Man 3 ends the way it does. It's like, just in case he decides he doesn't want to do it anymore. But like, Chris Evans is doing that thing where he was negotiating in public, where he's like, there's a continuity of me leaving, so I'll come back. I mean, I will come back, but like, you gotta treat it like I'm not. So you gotta give me 25% more.
Right. And no, and I agree. And I get that was, it was just, I feel like every other month it's like Chris Evans is leaving the role of Captain America. Yeah. What's MCU going to do? They're not going to do nothing because he's not going to leave.
Yeah. Like, I just stopped listening to that. I was like, listen, just give him the next Ant-Man movie. Let him direct the next Ant-Man movie. Like, you know what I mean? Like, give him a movie that, like, it doesn't matter who directs it. And see if he can do it. You know what I mean? Like, they let Frakes direct like every other episode of TNG, and he became a film director after that. And he directed the one TNG movie everybody likes. So didn't he
also direct that Ridley's Believe It or Not? Like,
he was on it.
Then they turned him into like a meme for.
Yeah, he's wonderful. Jonathan Frakes, man.
You were wrong.
Yeah, wrong, dead wrong. No way. We made it up. He's amazing.
Oh, he is.
He's my spirit animal. Anyway, but yeah, no. Forget it.
All right. So next up, so we can keep moving through these topics. Andrew Garfield is stating that he has not yet received a call to be in the Spider-Man movie. And as things currently stand, he is not in Spider-Man. Okay, that's just bullshit. We know that is. That's just PR bullshit.
Yeah.
There's literally reports of them delivering pizzas to him in an Airbnb on the set of Spider-Man.
Yeah. Yeah. I've heard that too. I mean, like, listen, the movie's done. Like, I think the movie's done being shot. So it's like, I don't know where this is coming from. I guess it's just like Garfield was the one. There's rumors that like, because he didn't show up to like a Sony Japanese shareholders meeting, or he was a jerk at the meeting, they wrote him out of the Spider-Man movies and they had to recast.
That's supposedly how it went down.
So my guess is, you know, he's just playing ball, you know, where it's like, you know, if they tell him, don't say you're in the movie, he's like, I'll just say I'm not in the movie. Like, okay, until you want me until you tell me to tell them, I will just say I'm not in the movie.
I know this. If you look at it, there's a lot of stuff behind the Andrew Garfield getting pushed out of Spider-Man, and it doesn't look like it was all on him. But the way it flowed out and the way it does look like it was a lot of Sony, but it was also him. Yeah, and it seems almost like the Ray Fisher Hamada situation, where it's just two guys that are just, their egos are so big, neither wants to back down. Because that's at the end of the day, I don't care about the overarching Hamada Ray Fisher storyline. No. I've expressed my opinion on the whole thing that it's just, once the stuff was done, it just needs to be over. Yep. But it just seems like each side wants the last word. And I feel like that's what happened with the Sony president and Andrew Garfield. It was like, no, you can't force, I'm Spider-Man, you're not going to do it without me. And right. Like, we could do it without you. We could do it without you. Yeah. Garfield being like, what? You're not doing it without me. I showed up today. They're like, you're fired. And he's like,
yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh, are you guys making any more Social Network movies? I mean, he's a good actor. He'll be fine.
He is a good actor, and he had quite a few roles after that. It's not like he was dead in the water.
No.
But I do feel like you always hear those stories of like actors and famous people being humbled by these situations.
Yes.
So it could be. I could agree. I agree with you. If they were to tell him, you just tell people you were not there, he's just doing it just to play ball right now.
He's like, well, I know you'll fire me. Like Most of my appearance will probably be CG because I'll be in a Spider-Man costume. So like, I know you can erase me.
Yeah.
Because all they have to do is like swap him out with Spider-Ham from the Into the Spider-Verse movie or Nicolas Cage as Spider-Man Noir. And it's like, people will still be thrilled to see that movie.
I could see them being petty about this and just kind of being like, every scene where you are without a mask, you are not with Tom Holland, so we can cut you.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then he's in a CG mask on every other scene for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Could you imagine that? How
God.
petty that would be?
Yeah.
Andrew, I need you to move over an inch. Give me another foot.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Perfect.
Do your scene.
Key him out. Done. Yeah. I mean, we know Sony. Yes, they are that petty.
Yeah.
I heard an interesting rumor. This is just because we're, this is our show.
We do whatever we want on this show.
I heard a rumor, and I don't know how true it is, so I'll throw it out to the internet because the internet will grind it for me, that Avi Arad, who is notorious for having the worst ideas and the worst decisions, and he's responsible for everything you hate about every Spider-Man movie ever made and every Spider-Man cartoon ever made, post-90s, that he is the reason for a lot of decisions regarding the MCU Spider-Man, including the absence of Uncle Ben.
Well, haven't they outright said anything that's ever been in another movie, they're just going to cut?
Yeah. And I hear it's just because Arad wanted to have because Arad has always wanted to control and have Spider-Man. And he's you should have seen him, by the way. If you guys haven't seen it, look up the Oscar Awards acceptance speech for Sony when Into the Spider-Verse won. You can see him there wearing his friggin' baseball cap. And you can see different executives getting in front of him to keep him from coming to the microphone. But that he kind of resents the Disney deal and was like, so you can have Spider-Man, but you can have any of the stuff that makes him Spider-Man that I know is responsible for Spider-Man. I'd heard that was the rumor, and that the new Sony Disney deal that was penned also included the exclusion of Arad. That don't be surprised if Uncle Ben shows up in the next movie.
I know the constant argument is that Tom Holland is not the Spider-Man that we want. He's nothing like the comics.
I want to hear that.
He's with Tony Stark. I get all that. I do.
Shut up.
Yeah. I'm not against it though. I'm not. I love Spider-Man. You and I, Sal, we're big Spider-Man fans.
This is true.
Yeah, I love the whole Spider family. You could just throw the word spider on anything and I will read it, watch it.
Oh, not me. If it's Spider-Man, Peter Parker, I'm in. And maybe Miles, but that's it for me.
I'll do the whole Spider-Verse of people. I'll do the whole I like Spider-Gwen. I like Silk. I like Silk, man.
Yeah. Hey, good segue, but keep going.
I will say, is the next topic on here?
It's one of them.
So Sony Spider-Man is having a Silk spinoff because I like Silk.
That's right. She's getting her own TV show. What were you going to say? What was your point? And then we'll talk about the show.
The point I was going to say is everyone's whining that it's not the Spider-Man, but the fact is, it's kind of like the argument with the Superman thing, where it's we've had that version for so long. Let another version exist. So the Ari Arad Nothing You Know version, I'm not against, but I will admit, I'd love to see a scene of him just swinging through the city, talking to his Uncle Ben. That'd be great.
That's all. I've had two very steeped MCU Spider-Man movies. I love him in the MCU and I want to see that. And I still want it to be intrinsically connected. But I also would like to see some hardcore regular Spider-Man stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the Iron Spider suit, but
it's fine.
At no point have we gotten a normal Spider-Man.
No, the Homecoming suit is for me one of the best Spider-Man suits on film. I love that suit.
Do you?
I do. I think
He's got a voice in his head.
Yeah, no, the suit, not all the stuff. Just it looks great. It even has the fat red spider that no one does. That's my suit. I play PS4 the PS4 game just to see that suit in action.
All right. But speaking of Silk characters, and having other characters,
Spider characters,
the only problem I have with Silk being a TV spinoff.
Right.
You're kicking a TV universe off that's going to be linked to the Spider-Man universe with Silk.
What a nightmare.
Yeah, I like Silk, but why not a more iconic character instead of someone so obscure?
It's just
so if you couldn't use Miles or Peter for a TV show because they're going to stay in the movies, who would you use?
Silver Sable.
That is a weird decision.
Like, because that's a character they have. Like,
well, I would have said any other character in the Spider-Verse.
Like a Spider-Ham animated series, a Spider-Man noir show,
Spider-Man noir show, the Penny Girl. What's it? Spider.
Oh yeah.
Spider. Like
yeah. I would also just take a Peter B. Parker show.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like there's a number of things you could do before going to Silk, or make it a Spider-Verse show. Why isn't every episode like a 3-episode arc of a different Spider person?
Yeah,
you're going to do Silk.
Yeah, Spider-Gwen show would have been the way to go.
Yeah, Spider-Gwen would have been perfect.
Especially because Silk's origin is connected to Peter's. Like, you have to address it. And the show is not going to be, it's not going to look very good. So it's going to be like weird. Ah, well.
It's a weird decision to go with Silk.
We'll see if
the Spider family that you could have
They say the filming will begin in August. We'll see if it ever happens.
Yeah. First look at the Miss Marvel costume from the set. Did you see that?
I did. I think it was like, I was amazed by like this
how
weird,
accurate.
Yeah, this era of accurate Marvel costumes in the MCU. I was like, wow. Yep, that's Kamala.
Yeah. And she looks good in the role too. She's like smiling and everything. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a great show.
yeah. And a good Captain Marvel sequel movie, because she's gonna be in that. We're in that.
She's gonna be in that with the Marvels. Her, Monica Rambeau, and Kamala Khan are gonna be in that one. It's gonna be interesting to see.
I can't wait.
Invincible has already been renewed for seasons 2 and 3. They couldn't wait to tell you.
Did you see the video of Kirkman calling I think it's Stephen Yeun, the voice for Mark, and telling him that there is a season 2 and 3?
No.
They released a little video where Kirkman's just like, hey man, got some news. It's cute. I'm like, oh, that's nice. That is a fun way to do that.
All right.
He's pretty hyped.
There's a show based on Naomi. So for those who don't know, Naomi is a character that Bendis made. She was a part of the Wonder Comics line.
Yep.
The biggest issue I have with this is now that Bendis is writing Justice League, she is the most powerful character in DC.
Yeah. She's on the Justice League. She's super important. If you've never read the Naomi miniseries, ladies and gentlemen, you should, because not only is it fun and it's classic Bendis, but also Jamal Campbell's art is next level.
Yeah, I like the art for that one.
That first trade is phenomenal. So check that out.
They touched on it being the White Lantern powers that she's tapping into. Is that actually where it ended up becoming?
I didn't see that in that book. That was all I read of Naomi, but I didn't get that.
Well, because she sees the White Lantern symbols and stuff like that, like the symbols of some of the lanterns early on.
That's funny because, Bendis also referenced or rewrote like history for the White Lanterns in Batman universe. So you could tell Bendis has like a hard on for the White Lantern verse and not paying attention to whatever the hell Jeff Johns did with it.
Well, I will give him this. At least with the White Lanterns, there's like no history.
Right.
Like they
weren't they invented for Blackest Night? Like they didn't exist?
Yeah. And they show up and then they do Brightest Day,
which nobody liked.
And they don't explain anything in it.
Good.
This is like we're just like this omnipresent.
Yep.
Help you with things. And then they turned Kyle into Space Jesus for a little while.
Yep. I do recall Space Jesus. Yeah. Good for Bendis. He's getting another payday. All right.
Yeah. I do find it a bit weird though that of all the characters the CW could tap into, they went with Naomi.
I am not surprised by that in the least. They're like, are you kidding me? Like Bendis created Miles. We're trying to get lightning in a bottle here. It's a black female lead. Her powers are nebulous. We've already done a bunch of test subjects like with Stargirl and other shows to showcase a show that's going to be about teen drama that also has powers in it. Like, no, this is a no-brainer for them and a must skip for me because it's a CW show about teenagers. Pass.
I saw the black female lead, but I was looking at it as I didn't think about the Bendis Miles connection. I was thinking like there's plenty of other black female leads you could probably tap into that are older in the DC universe and stuff like that.
Here's a quick pitch. John Henry Irons' niece.
Yeah.
That's the show.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, there's got to be other ones than this new character that they just created.
Yeah,
because
Icon and Rocket would have been a great show. Yeah. No, that's the thing is that it's just that it. It's
what's her name? Bumblebee. That's another one.
Yeah, Bumblebee would be fun.
Bumblebee. Yeah.
But like, you know what it is with Naomi? There's not enough. The hardcore fans won't complain if we make shit up for our new show.
Yeah, that's true.
Because there's only 6 issues.
That seems to be the MCU approach to a lot of things too. Like we're going to get a character that's so obscure. If you're arguing about it, we don't care.
Right. Oh no, a lot of people are mad about Moon Knight. Listen, Moon Knight's not that obscure, but still like obscure enough in their eyes for them to use that example. Anyway, I won't be watching the show.
The Black Knight is like, we got Kit Harington to be the Black Knight. What do you guys know with the Black Knight? He's
nothing.
Knight in black. I mean, he's got a sword.
Which one?
Recently they made it Null's sword. I mean, that's all I got for you.
The Ebony Blade is his. No, I did not know that.
The Ebony Blade is attached to Null and was used by Conan in the ancient era when Conan was in touch with a symbiote. I read every King in Black tie-in, Sal.
Nice.
Well, the Ebony Blade speaks to Conan. It's when he had a symbiote. They touch on that in Savage Avengers.
Okay, yes, I saw that.
The Black Knight is on his own adventures with his own Null-based sword.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Black Knight has his own book, and it throws all that away.
I've read way too many tie-ins to what is going on with King in Black.
King in friggin' Black. I know.
It will never go away. They just showed him up in, I think, Future Fighter, one of those.
No!
I was like, no, I don't.
I'm shot. Where is that Null figure / statue? I still can't believe there isn't a Null figure or statue.
Yeah, how have they not made it? Is there a Null toy that we both just missed?
No, I promise you that if you see it, it's going to be a custom job.
I'm looking at Null Hasbro.
No good idea.
Nope.
Null Diamond, maybe?
Null toy.
Oh, no, not Diamond. Sideshow.
No, it's just custom. Everything's custom, like you said.
Weird. Isn't that weird?
That is so weird. Because the design's not even a terrible design.
And it's easy to replicate. Like you could just, because hate to burst everybody's bubble, but like those Hasbro figures, they made like 4 of them and they just interchanged the parts. So
it's like the old school G.I. Joes. Like
you could just if like take a look at the coats. If you see any Hasbro Marvel Legends figure with a coat, same torso.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so apparently they're also doing a Yara Flor show.
Really?
If they do it with her doing adventures in Brazil or in the Amazon.
Oh, that's right. I heard that. Yes.
If they do that, I'm on board. If they do, Yara Flores in high school.
Oh my God. I bet she will be. Degrassi Wonder Woman. Can't wait.
All right. So last topic. Jeremy Rayner reveals that Marvel's Hawkeye has wrapped filming. When is that even coming out? I've heard nothing.
I have no idea. I have no idea. All I do know is, again, another screen accurate or comic accurate suit for both Kate and Clint.
Yeah, hold on. I'm looking for this release date. We got to see what this release date is.
Yeah, right. When is this freaking show coming out?
2021. Thanks. That doesn't help.
What? Really? Okay, this year?
They actually don't have a date. It's just 2021. The only thing we know so far is that Loki has got a date, and everything after that is still just this year.
You know when I bet it comes out? December 31st, 2021. That'll be the premiere of the first episode.
Disney Plus shows. Let me see.
Release dates.
MCU release dates. God damn it. Like this. I gotta be so specific with my Google searches. Loki, What If is summer. Someone mentioned a good point. We haven't seen very many trailers for What If, considering it's supposed to come out soon.
I just watched it today. Like I watched a new trailer that came out like 4 weeks ago or something, and I'd seen stuff in that I don't remember. So I was like, oh, maybe I missed this one. But yeah.
Hawkeye and Miss Marvel are both announced as late 2021. So you may be right on the December 31st date, Sal.
Right? I think they're because I don't know. I bet they change it. I bet it'll be 2022 just to give things a room. The thing is they gotta chain them. You gotta be like, the way it goes is you gotta have a Marvel and then a Star War, and between those two you have a making of video.
Bad Batch started. I didn't know it started.
Yeah,
like it's legit. I only started knowing because a few people on Twitter, like, I didn't see any announcement. I didn't see no trailer.
Me either.
Just a few people like, oh, Bad Batch is okay. And I'm like, oh, what?
Yeah, I only heard Bad Batch. They're like, Bad Batch coming tomorrow. And I'm like, oh, really? Cool.
Are we going to watch that for absolutely Marvel and DC? You and I can we'll see how far in we get before we give up.
I have no context. I didn't watch the show.
I didn't either. And a lot of people saying you don't need to.
Yeah,
and they're saying that there's a Rambo stormtrooper.
Yeah. Listen, if you watched Mandalorian season 2, you needed to watch Clone Wars.
I might check it out and I'll give you a verdict if you need to watch.
My wife has zero interest in it, so I'm like,
I do too, but it's like 20 minutes probably. It's an animated show.
No, that's true. Yeah, it's expensive.
It's a quick watch.
Yeah, I'll think about it. I'll check it out. Maybe.
Okay. All right. And if you want to see our review on that, check us out at Absolutely Marvel at DC. How about this? We agree to watch the first episode, and that's all we agree to right now.
All right, fine.
Okay.
Especially if it's only 20 minutes. I bet it isn't. I bet it's an hour.
Is it an hour?
I was just saying I bet it is.
75 minutes?
Oh, no. No, that's not happening.
Guys, you're working against me. Our Twitch chat is like the 75 minutes. No, let's sound think it's 21.
I'm not watching a movie.
Okay, I'll watch the movie
about stormtroopers.
It's apparently normally 40 minutes, so it's still a long cartoon.
Oh, I'm already watching Invincible, guys. Come on. Invincible just ended, though. We do need something.
That's why I was thinking Bad Batch. We could check it out.
Let's see how the numbers do on that.
Let's watch the first one. Watch the hour and 15-minute first episode and go from there.
We'll see. Yeah, I'll check it out.
Now chat's flipping it for you. They're like, did I say 75? I meant 25, Sal.
25. I've been like, yeah, I'll watch it tonight. 75? Maybe I'll see it.
There was one other thing I wanted to bring up before we closed up.
And
I don't remember what it is. And it's going to be right after we stop filming.
I know.
Exactly what it was.
I can feel it. Is it DC? Is it Marvel? Is it
something Marvel, something MCU? Because we were talking MCU and I was going to go to that topic and then we moved to Bad Batch.
Okay. Well, it could be. Let me look at what's coming out. We got Loki, Black Widow, Shang-Chi, The Eternals, Spider-Man, Hawkeye, Ms. Marvel, What If? You mentioned What If. There's not a lot of trailers for What If.
Oh, well, I'll remember it later. It's fine. Yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining us today for Absolute Comics, the show every Tuesday where Sal and I sit down at about 5 p.m. Eastern, talk about all the fun stuff going on. We had a great guest today, Dinesh from Bad Idea. Go to whereisbadidea.com to find your local store that is selling Bad Idea comics. Don't forget to go to gfuel.com to use the code comics at checkout and get 10% off your order. And yeah, that's it, guys. Don't forget to check out our other channel as well, Absolutely Marvel and DC, where you too can go ahead and get all of us discuss. It's literally just like 5 videos a week of me and Sal talking about MCU shows, theories, and just fun stuff.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, Dan, I'm mentioning you, Dan, and Dylan are covering the CW shows that Sal and I aren't watching.
That's right. It's a huge help. It's a Herculean effort. I really appreciate it, you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Between the 4 of us, we're covering down and we'll check out Bad Batch. They say it's 25 minutes of a show and 15 minutes of credits out.
It is not. It's going to be a weird review.
It apparently is the first 2 episodes, so.
That makes sense.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you next week right here.